afternoon, guys. Hope I'm audible and you're able to listen to my voice. And the screen is visible. Looks like people are still joining in. I know it's a little bit early than what we usually start at. We had to cover up for the time that we missed in the morning session. So I had asked you this question. Well, I had this trouble with the internet. I had asked you this particular question that is regarding printing a diamond pattern. So did anybody try printing this pattern? There's no response. Okay, we'll wait for people to join. We'll take another 2 minutes. Let's see if people are joining in. Looks like there's no increase in the number. So before discussing this particular pattern, I'll just go through the programs that we have already discussed in order to come up to this pattern. Okay, so I believe you remember this question. So this was one of the questions that we discussed yesterday, right? So in order to print a pyramid pattern, right? So what did we do here? So we wrote 3 for loops, right? We wrote 3 for loops. One of the for loops was for the row, the second for loop was for the column, but for spaces. Okay, it was printing spaces, and then I used a formula that is 2 into I minus 1, where I'm printing all the odd values. In the first case it will print 1, in the second case it will print 3 stars, in the third case it will print 5 stars, then 7. It goes on printing odd values, right? So that's why I'm using this particular formula here, 2 into I minus 1, and I'm printing stars. Okay, so same thing, if I reverse it, I'll be able to get this particular pattern, right? So what am I reversing here? Instead of starting I is equal to 1, I'm starting from I is equal to rows and going on decrementing the value. The rest of the program remains the same. So I'll be getting this particular pattern, that is a mirror image of a pyramid, right? Or a upside down pyramid. Now if I want to print a diamond pattern, okay, again this is not the exact diamond pattern. There is one more flaw in this particular diamond pattern, which you might observe, that there are 2 lines of the same size, right? So I'll tell you how to correct that also, but before that, how do we print this particular pattern? We club both the programs, right? So we club both the programs that are there. Okay, so these are two programs that I've clubbed. So the first part of the pyramid, that is the normal pyramid, here is that part, and then the upside down pyramid, that is this part, right? So if I club these programs, I'll be able to get the entire diamond pattern. Now the only flaw is that two lines, so I have to remove one of those lines, so in order to get this particular pattern, right? So in this case I have removed that middle line. Okay, there's only one longest line. Okay, so what am I doing? The code remains the same. Okay, the first pyramid is printed in the same order. In the case of second pyramid, that is upside down pyramid, instead of starting it from rows, I am starting it from row minus one lesser value. That's why I'm getting this particular output, right? So any doubts in this pyramid program? Any doubts in this pyramid program, guys? Chat, you can post it in the chat if anybody has any doubt. So any doubts in the pattern program, guys? The diamond pattern program. So we saw the diamond pattern program because I had asked you this question before my network problem. So if you see here in this particular program, we were discussing this program last, if I'm not wrong. So I told you that the column size is very mandatory when it comes to 2D arrays, right? So without the column size, I'll not be able to display the 2D array, or I'll not be able to work on 2D array. So column size is mandatory. Without the row size, I can write a program for 2D arrays, but column ID is mandatory. Why? Because the for loop will not know when to terminate, right? So that's why column size is mandatory, right? Then we saw this particular program. So here what is happening? So here what is happening, I was printing the number value, that's a variable, and in the second printf statement I'm trying to print the address. Okay, this 26778 is a random value that I've simply shown as an example. That might not be the output you will get, you might get some other value. Okay, but the important thing here is, if I'm trying to print an address, the return type should be %p, that's one important thing, and ampersand represents the address variable. We call it as reference operator. Okay, Any doubts in this? So in order to access a particular variable, we can either use the variable name, okay, that can be in this case number, right, or we can use the address value. In this case the address value is 2024, but it becomes very hectic to always keep a track on address values. That's why we follow a very simple method of using variable names. Or else I can always print a address of a particular variable that you declare, and using the address values I can actually write a program. Okay, so that particular concept, how to use address variables or how to access the variables and using its address, is called pointers. Okay, so pointers are usually represented using a star. Okay, the same multiplication operator is used for pointers here. Okay, so how to use pointers, because most of the even people from no sir for what. Okay, so even people from CSE department sometimes find it hard to understand pointers or questions based on pointers. One good news when it comes to placements, pointers is a concept that is very limited to C. Okay, you don't have concept of pointers in Python or Java or C++. Okay, so because it causes a lot of security issues, because if you are directly able to access the address, so then your security will be vulnerable, because hackers or anybody can directly access your address and spoil your data, whatever is there. So that's why hacker is limited to C programs. So this is the reason when it comes to programming questions, okay, when they ask you to write a particular code, you'll never get a question that is based on pointers. Okay, remember that. But when it comes to MCQs, they will ask you questions based on pointers, and they might give you a code and ask you to find the output, or they might give you a code and ask you to find an error. That kind of questions related to pointers do appear. But when it comes to writing a code, which will be usually for like 15 or 20 marks, one or two questions will definitely be there if you're going for an IT company. So in that case, they will never ask you questions related to pointers. Okay, but knowing pointer concept is important, because even in your interviews, they do, in your PIs, in your technical PIs, they do ask you questions on pointers. So understanding pointers is very much important in that perspective, right? So we'll just see how pointers work. Okay, so pointers are nothing but our way to the address variable. Okay, so if you see the example here, int a, so that's my integer variable. Float b, that is my floating point variable. But if I want to declare a pointer variable, I'll always declare it with a star. So if you see int star ptr, so ptr is my pointer variable, it is represented by a star. So this is how I declare a pointer variable. If I want to store address, or if I want to work with the addresses, then I'll have to declare a pointer variable. So that is how I declare it, using a star symbol or a star operator, right? So this I believe everybody will know. So next we'll move on to the important part. So here if you see, int num is equal to 10. So number is an integer variable whose value is 10. Now I'm declaring a pointer variable star ptr. So ptr is equal to ampersand of num. So what happens because of this particular statement, ptr is equal to ampersand of num? Anyone in the chat, can you please tell me? Okay, so what basically happens is, address of num, wherever that variable number is stored, that particular address will be stored in ptr. Okay, so if you see in ptr, the address of num variable will be stored. Now ptr will have its own address, that is not our concern here. but the address of PTR will be stored. Okay, so that is 1000 in this case. Good one. Okay, good. So PTR is pointing to the integer variable. That with the location I'll be pointing at that particular. So whenever, now if I print star PTR, so what will be printed? 1000 will be printed or 10 will be printed? So if I ನನ್ನ ಫೋನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. Audible to you guys? Am I audible?
Hello.
Am I audible, guys? Okay, so if I print star PTR, 10 will be printed, but if I print PTR, what will be printed? Thousand will be printed, the address will be printed, right? So we'll see an example here. So int a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, c is equal to 30. So I'm also declaring pointer variables ptr1, ptr2, ptr3, and I'm storing the values of a in ptr1, storing the address of a in ptr1, storing the address of b in ptr2, and storing the address of c in ptr3, right? So now let me show you the memory allocation. Let's say A is stored in a memory called as 101, B is stored in 105, and C is stored in 107. Now their pointers are stored in different locations, right? So in PTR1 101, the address of A will be stored. So in PTR2, address of B, that is 105, and in PTR3 107, that is address of C will be stored. Now the same thing, now I'm trying to print something. So what am I printing in the first printf statement here? So ampersand A. Ampersand A is being copied to PTR, so address of A is copied to PTR. So what will be printed? A value will be printed whenever I print star PTR 10. Now for the same pointer variable, I'm copying the address of B, right? So what will be copied? Right, so what will be copied? 20 will be address of B will be copied, and if I try to print star PTR, 20 will be printed. Similarly, ampersand C, if I copy to PTR, 30 will be printed in the printf, right? Okay, now we'll see this example. Int a star p. So I'm declaring a variable and also a pointer variable, and I'm copying a to p. Okay, I'm not copying address of A, I'm copying the value of A to P. Okay, in the second example, what am I doing? I'm copying the address of A to star P. Okay. In the third case, I'm copying the address of A to P. In the fourth case, I'm copying the value of A to star P. So what is the difference in all these four statements? So A will contain the integer value, P contains the address value or the pointer variable pointing to the integer location, right? So A's location will be copied to P. In ampersand A, what will be there? In ampersand A, address of A will be there. In ampersand P, what will be there? Address of P will be there. What will be star P? Value pointed by the P variable. Okay, so star P is pointing at A, so that value will be printed. Okay, all these are same. It does not make any difference. All the four statements are same. Okay, there is no change. All the four things do the same work. Okay, but you have to understand what they mean individually. So you'll understand it better. Here I'm copying A value to P, but A value to P, am I copying the address here? No, I'm not copying the address, so I have to copy the address, so that's why it is invalid. Here I'm copying the address of A to value at P, so that also is wrong. But in this case I'm copying the address of A to P. In this case I'm copying the value of A to value of P. So this is the reason these two statements are right. Whereas here, though it looks similar, I'm just copying the value of A to P, which will not work out for me. Similarly here, the address of A I'm copying to value at P, so that also will not work out for me. So that's the reason it is very important for you to understand the difference of these four statements. Though they look similar, they look same, okay, they might look same because all four are assignment operations, right? But the changes here is, in some cases I'm copying the address, some cases I'm copying the value, so you have to see where I can copy the value. In this case, in the fourth case, value I'm copying to the value. In the third case here, I'm copying the address to the address where it has to be stored. But in this case, in the first case, right, I'm copying the value to the place where the address has to be stored. Or in this case, I'm copying the address where the value has to be stored, right? So that's why it is not possible. Okay, if you run this, you'll not get any error, but you'll not be able to get the proper output. You want me to go to the last problem? Okay, this one. What is the doubt, Suhan? Nothing, sir. You thought it was star PTR. No, it was not star PTR. I'm copying the address to PTR only. If I'm copying it to star PTR, I'll be copying the value. Okay. So you understood the difference between these three. All four are assignment. All four are right. But if I'm working with pointers, okay, I have to copy the address to where I can copy the address. Okay, I cannot copy the address to the value here. Okay. So the best way is, whenever you see and ampersand, you read it as address of A. Whenever you see star, you read it as value at P. Okay, so that will be easy for you to understand. So whenever you read and, so ampersand A is nothing but address at A, star P is nothing but value at P. So if you read that, then you'll be able to figure this out, because they'll give you such error based questions. You'll have to figure out what the error is. But I'm printing star PTR. Where am I printing star PTR? In the previous question, is it? Let's see. I'm printing the value here. So what here I'm printing the value. If I print only PTR, what will get printed? The address of A will be printed. So that's why I said if you read it as value at PTR, so value will be printed. What is the value at PTR? Value of A. If I just print PTR, that will be address of A. I have one more example, don't worry, you'll understand it there. Okay, what is the output here? So what am I doing here? Printf percentage %d percentage %d percentage %d. So 3 percentage %d's are there. And what am I printing? A of 2 of 1. What is A of 2 of 1? What is the value of 2 of 1, guys? So first let's figure out how the array is done. So there must be 3 rows and 2 columns. So first row will have 1, 2. Second row will have 3, 4. Then will be 5, 6. Right. So in this case, what is 2 of 1? 5, 6. So this is my 2 of 1. So 6 should be printed. So that is very evident that this 6. So option is C. But we'll just see what values we are getting here. Let's see if the answer is right. Okay. So A of 2 plus 1. What is that A of 2? A of 2 is basically this last line plus 1. So it is pointing at 5 when I talk about A of 2, and plus 1, so it will move to this position. Okay, so it will move to this position, and the value there, what is the value there? 6. So that's why 6 is printed. Next, A plus 2. A plus 2 is nothing but array A plus 2, so it will again point at 5, plus 2 plus 1, so it will point at 6. So value at A plus 2, the value at A plus 2 plus 1, so that will be again 6. So these are different ways I can access the value of a 2D array, right? So if you want me to explain this again, let me know. Or any other questions regarding this particular question, ask me in the chat. explain again. So we'll start from the given array. Okay, what is the given array here? The given array is of row size 3, column size 2, correct? So row size is 3, so the first two values go to the first row, so 1 and 2. Then we'll go to the second two values will go to the second row, and then it will be 5, 6. Right, now percentage d, what am I printing here? A of 2 of 1. So the second row, first element, so this is 0, this is 1. Okay, let me write the indexes also. This is 0, this is 1. Okay, I'm writing the index values. This is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. The index values are written. Okay, now so 2 of 1 will be 6. So by this particular examination only we can tell that it is 6. But there are other options which says error and garbage value. This might be an error sometimes, so we'll just check that. Okay, so if I check the first one, that is star a of 2 plus 1. So at a of 2 there are two values, okay, 5 and 6. So what is it pointing at initially? It is pointing at 5, because I've just accessed the row. Plus 1 will point to the next element, so that will be 6. What is the value there? At 6, at 1 the value is 6, so that's why 6 is getting printed. Star is nothing but value, so that value will be printed. Similarly here, a plus 2, the value at a plus 2, the value at a plus 2 is 5, right? Plus 1 and the value there, so plus 1, after 5 the plus 1 is 6. Okay, the value there is 6, so that's why it is printing 6 again. We'll do one thing, we'll run this code in a compiler and you'll be able to understand it better. So I hope you can see the code. Now what I'll do is I'll run this code so that you can see the output. What we got is right. I made any mistake. Main program percentage d backslash n. Okay. Printf, am I closing it with a semicolon? Okay, I'm not closing the printf with semicolon. I am. What is the error here then? Not the second. Okay. 1 second. It is copying everything. I'll have to paste it using. I'll have to just paste the text. 1 second. Okay, now I'm not able to some value which is Unicode is getting copied. I'm not able to see what that value is. I can do one thing. Let me copy this. This should do it. Yeah, now I'm getting the output, right? So the double quotes was copied wrong. So I hope I'm getting the output now. Is 6, 6, 6. So now what I'll do is I'll just try to change the values here. Okay, so instead of 1, I'll just make it as change the value. Okay, now it should be 6, 6 and 5. What is happening? There are 2 stars. Okay. Now I'll run it. See, now value at a plus 2 cannot be printed, but if I make this as no, I have to give 2 variables or else I'll not be able to, because without 2 variables you'll not be able to print the value. So what I'll do is plus 0. Okay, and then I'll make a star here. So I'll not know whether it's a row value or a column value. Now if I run it, it'll be 5. Similarly, if I make this as 0, it'll display 655. Right. So these two values are very mandatory, the row value and the column value. Okay. I hope this will clarify most of your doubts. This I don't think so you'll have any issue here. You have 2 of 1, now automatically it will print 6. You have 2 of 0, it will print 5. Right. So it will print all 555. Any doubts, guys? Okay. Am I audible now? Because there's a lot of, so okay, we'll see the next question, guys. I hope you didn't have any doubt there. What is the output for this above program? Yeah, I've got a lot of yes sirs, but I've not got any answers. So here what is happening, int a is equal to 10 and a pointer variable called p and one more pointer variable called vp. Okay, now address of a is copied to p. Is that allowed? Yes, address of a can be copied to p and that same address is copied to vp. Right, now if I am printing value at p, what should be printed? 10 should be printed. Now if I am printing value at vp, so same address will be copied, no? So value at vp also will be the same thing, both are pointer variables, no? So 10 10, that is option A. Nice. What about this one? Okay, the question is not there because there's no printf statement here. Just go through the question here, okay? Then I'll ask you what the question is. So there are 4 pointer variables: pq, star star pp, star star qq. So 4 pointer variables, 2 variables, that is a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. Okay, for p I'm copying the address of a, for q I'm copying the address of b, for pp I'm copying the address of p, and for qq I'm copying the address of q. Right, so now just for your understanding, let's say the memory location of 10 is, that is a, is 1000. Similarly the memory location of b is 2000. Similarly the memory location of p is 3000 and memory location of pp is 5000. Similarly memory location of q is 4000 and qq is 6000. Okay, so what is the value of a now? So if you are able to fill this particular chart, no, then you would have understood pointers very well. So what is the value of a? Be quick and respond in the chat. What is the value of a? Super. What is the value of p? 1000. So this we already know. What is the value of %p? That is the address of p. What is %p value? $3,000. Super. So 3000 is the value of %p. Star p value is 10. What is the value at pp? Value at pp is 3000. What is the value at %pp? %pp is 5000. What is star pp value? Star pp value is 3000, no? Sorry, star pp value is 1000, no? Value at p. Star pp value is 10. Correct? So star pp value will be 1000, star pp value will be 10. So double star is basically skipping the previous pointer and moving to the directly to the source. Okay, now in similar way, what is the value of b? B value will be 20, q value will be 2000, star q value will be 20 again, star q value also will be 20. Okay, so if you have understood this now, I'll display the next question. I'll just change something, that is p is equal to q. Okay, this is one extra statement that is being added to the program. So now start printing all these values, a, p, and %p, star p, all these values. There are about 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 values. So take a minute, print all these values. Let's see who can get it first. Just refer what answer you are telling, because if you simply type 10 2000, I'll not be able to know what you're referring to. So I got one value, that is 10 2000 3000 10 3000 5000 2000 10. Let's see. Let's check if Varshida's answers are right. So p is equal to 2000 because I've assigned the value of 2000 to it. A is 10, p is 2000, ampersand p is 3000, star p is 10. Now star p is 20. How did you get it 10? Oh, that's wrong. pp is 3000, ampersand pp is 5000, star pp will be 2000, star pp will be 20, b value is 20, q value is 2000, star q is 20. How many of you got it right? So what is basically happening is, instead of pointing at A, this pointer P is pointing at B, that's it. Rest everything will remain same. So there is no pointer pointing at A now. So we'll just change the question a little bit. Now star P is equal to 3000. Okay, so what will happen? In place of star P, that is in place of A, 300 will, sorry, not 3000, 300 will come into play. Rest of the values, A will be 300, 3 will remain same, ampersand P will be 3000 only, star P we have changed, so it is 300, PP will be 3000, ampersand PP will be 5000 same, star PP also will remain same, star PP will change as 300, sorry. So B is 20, Q is 2000, star Q is 20. I guess you have got it right now. So we'll change it one more time. Now what will be the value? P is equal to 300 now. P, not star P, P is equal to 300. So A value will remain same. Okay. P is pointing to 300. Ampersand P is 3000 only. Star P, I don't know what value is there in that particular address location, right? So some garbage value. PP is 3000, will remain same. Ampersand PP will remain 5000. Star PP is 300. Star PP is again a garbage value. B values will not change. So 20, 2020. Any doubts, guys? I'm waiting for somebody to ask me a doubt. Did you guys understand? Or do you want me to explain it again? No doubts? Okay. Then what will be the answer for this particular question? Good one. 10. Okay, how is it? Because int a is equal to 10 star p, value address of a is stored at p, and now I'm printing what? Let's decode it from the left. Sorry. So value at p, what is the value at p? The value at p is 10. The address of that 10 is address of a. The value at that address is again 10. Okay, so first value at p is 10, address of that particular place is address of a, the value at that address is again value of a, that is 10, right? So if you read it, the star as like a value and ampersand as address, then it will be easy for you to decode this. We'll see the next question. What is the output here? Ten and 20, some are saying option A. What about the rest of you? Option B, there's 10 and 20. Okay, let's see. So I is equal to 10, J is equal to 20. Star P is star P and star Q are pointer variables. So I value is copied to star P. Okay, so what is copied? 10 is copied to star P. Similarly, address of J is copied to Q. So now that I've explained, what will be the answer then? Yeah, everybody is saying B, so option B. Some people said option A. I don't know why. This is direct, no? Okay, you have one more question where you have to predict the values. So go to the question and predict all the values. You have to predict about 10 values. So I'll give you 2 minutes. Let's see who can do this. Yeah, so what is the answer, guys? So I've got one response that is, what is it? Garbage value 1,000, 1,000, 1,004, 7. Let's see. So first one is 1. A star A is value at A is 1. No? How is it garbage value? At A of 0 also it is 1. Okay. Why is it 1? I'll tell you. Because though it's an array, pointer will be pointing to the first memory location. Its array is a continuous memory location, no? So it will be pointing at the first memory location. Okay, Sohan. So that's why you by default you'll get the first memory location, that is 1. In the second case, A of 0, that is pointing at the first memory location only, so 1. A of 0 is also 1. What is star P? Again, value at A, so that is 1. P of 0 also is 1. Okay. Ampersand A, yeah, memory location is 1000, so yeah. Star A plus 3, so the fourth value, that is 7. A of 3, again the same value. Ampersand P is a garbage value. Why? Because address of P, it's not known for us. They didn't mention what is the thing. Star P plus 3, again it is same like star P plus 0. So some people have given garbage value there, I don't know why. So it is 7, no? Third value 0, 1, 2, 3, so 7. Both of you have given garbage value. Do you guys understand? Because if you're not able to understand this, I'll explain again, because this is how you understand pointers. And this is nothing but pointers on arrays on pointers. Yes or no? Do you want me to repeat this? Awesome. Okay. So that was it, guys. That was pointers. Did you understand pointers now? For people who didn't know pointers or did not understand pointers before this. So, okay, repeat it. A is an array of 5 elements. Okay, A is an array of 5 elements, right? So if you see the first value of A is this array is 1. Okay, that is A of 0. Then A of 1 is 3, A of 2 is 5, A of 3 is 7, A of 4 is 9. Now what am I trying to print? And I'm creating a pointer variable, and the location of the array is starting from 1. That means location of A of 0 is 1000. Okay, and I'm copying that location, that address to P. So I made it a pointer to this particular location. Okay, let me point it. So this statement, basically I'm pointing it to this particular location, that is the location of 1. So that's why when I print value at A, 1 is printed. Similarly, if I'm printing value at A plus 0, that is A of 0, that is also 1. That A of 0 is 1. Now A of 0 directly they was, so 1. Star P, that is value at P. So value at P is what? It is still pointing at the same location, so 1. Star P plus 0, that is star P of 0. So that also is pointing at 1 only. Similarly, ampersand A, that is the address location of A, that they have mentioned it is 1000, so it is 1000 because it is still pointing here. Now if I ask what is address ampersand A plus 1, What is ampersand a plus 1? That will be location of 3. That will be, let's say it is 4 bytes. So if this is 1000, location of 3, this 3 would be 1004 because it is continuous memory allocation, right? Now coming to star a plus 3. So star a plus 3, that is, this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So at 3 what is there? 7 is there. Similarly a of 3 is also 7. Ampersand p, that is address location of p, that is not given, so that's why it's a garbage value. What about star p plus 3? Star p plus 3 is equal to 7 only. Why? Because I'm again pointing it to third. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So that is 7. Just you have to remember, when I'm creating a pointer for an array, it will be initially pointing to the first element of the array. Understood, Varshita? Okay. So did you guys understand pointer in a better way? Did you I mean, how many of you knew pointers already and did not find anything extra here, or how many of you understood pointers, or how many of you did not know pointers at all and now you feel like, okay, now I understand pointers? We'll see structures and unions today. We'll quickly finish off structures and unions, then we'll see some programs today. So what are structures, what are unions? First we'll go through what is structures. So if I ask you a simple definition, what is structure, the reply you'll get is collection of different types of data. Okay. So what is the definition of array then? Collection of similar types of data. Okay, so in array, if it's an integer array, everything should be integers there. If it's a character array, everything should be characters there. But in structures, I can have different elements of different types. So that's the difference between structure and a array. So if you see here, this is an array. So int number 10. So it can store up to 10 numbers of integer type. It cannot store any floating point value. But if you see this example here on my right, struct person. So person is my structure. So it can store age, which is of integer type. Then it can store character, which is a name, that is a string. So I can store multiple values of two things which consist, that is a name and a age. So if I want to store a database of name and ages, I'll use a structure rather than using a single array. But again, usage of structure will be limited when it comes to coding. So mainly you'll get questions on MCQs related to structures. You'll not get coding related questions, because in C++ or what do you call, in Java or Python, you'll have something called as class concepts. So you'll be using that mainly when you write a code. You'll not be using structures anywhere. So this is a basic structure or basic syntax of a structure. So struct is my keyword, student is my name of the structure, int roll number, char name, float marks are the elements of the structure, and I'm closing the structure with a semicolon. Okay, so these elements are also called as structure members. So always remember, closing the structure with semicolon is necessary, mandatory. So how do you access structure members? Okay, so declare the structure variables. What are structure variables? So though the structure name is student, I need to have different variables. For example, I am trying to store the data of student marks here, right? Roll number, name of the student, and the marks. So student 1, so he'll have different data. Student 2 will have a different data. Student 3 will have a different data, right? So all these data I can store using a structure. Okay, so stud1 is the first student. Then I can create one more variable, that is stud2. So if I want to access any value, or if I want to define any value or initialize any value, so what do? I use the structure variable dot the member name. So stud1 dot roll number. I can assign a value. Now we'll see this. That is, no memory will be allocated when a structure is created. So when I create a structure, so in arrays, if you remember, if I create an array of 1000 elements, then 1000 memory, that 1000 I mean, not 1000 bytes of memory, depending on what the data type is. Let's say it's integer, then 4000 bytes of memory will be stored. Like, it will be kept in idle, you cannot use it. So but when it comes to structure, what happens? Only if you declare a variable, then the memory will be allocated. For example, what is the memory allocated to one of the structure variables here? So int is, let's say, 4 bytes, character 20 bytes, float 4 bytes. So 20 plus 4, that is 8. So the memory allocated for this particular structure is 28 bytes, right? So that is only allocated when I declare a variable. Dynamic allocation is something different, Ujjwal. I don't know if you'll be learning data structures. When you're learning data structures, I can explain you what dynamic memory allocation is. Okay, this is how structure works basically. So I took 28, they have taken 2 bytes for roll number, so that's why it is 26. Okay, so whenever a variable is created, that many bytes of memory will be allocated to that particular variable. So I'm creating multiple variables now, stud1, stud2, stud3. So for all these variables, 26 bytes of memory or 28 bytes of memory will be reserved. So both these, so in the first example you can see that is the structure name stud1, or I can simply make it as, before completing the structure, I can simply type it as stud1. So this is also declaration of a structure variable. Both are same, both are right and both are same. So now what I'm doing, stud1 is my variable. Okay, I'm assigning all the values, that is roll number value, name value, and the marks value. Or I can do it in this way also. Both are right. So next we'll see what union is. Okay, so this is how structure works. Any doubts with structures, guys? We'll see some MCQs, then you'll understand it better. But did you understand the basic syntax? So union is same as structure, but the only thing is the memory allocation that happens in union. So if it is a structure, what is the memory allocation here? Memory allocated would be 26 or 28 bytes. But since it's a union, the maximum possible value here is 20 bytes. So only 20 bytes will be allocated. Okay. Rest, the only keyword is changed. There it is struct, here it is union. Okay. So if we are creating three different union variables, then 20 bytes, 20 bytes, 20 bytes. Maximum is 20 because char name is 20. Okay, whatever that maximum value is, that will be allocated. So that is how union is different. In certain types of codes, this will be useful. Okay, if you want to save a lot of memory, that's why you have the concept of union. Else, using structure in union is not much different. Only memory allocation is different. So let's see this program. So I'm creating a union called as data. There are three variables, int a, int b and float c. So the memory allocated for this particular union is 4 bytes. Okay, so union data, data1. So I'm creating a union variable data1. Data1 dot a is 10. So I've assigned a value for a, that is 10. So data1 dot b is 20. Now assigning a different value to b. So what happens? The previous value gets deleted because only 4 bytes of data is available. Right. Next, what is happening? I'm printing the data1 dot a value. So data1 dot a value also will have the same value. Data1 dot b also will have the same value because it was replaced. Right? Did you understand? So this is how union works. So latest value will remain. The old values get replaced. So we'll just see the difference between structure and union. So for defining a structure we use struct variable. For defining a union we use union variable. Sorry, union keyword. My mistake. Structure occupies more memory space than union. It occupies less memory. Structure allocates separate storage space for every member. Union allocates only one common storage space for all the members. Okay. In structure we can access all the members of structure at a time. In union, you cannot access all the members at a time because memory allocation will be one at a time. Right? So what is the answer here, guys? Output. So I'm creating a structure called student. The member variable members are student ID and student name. Okay, S1 is a variable, structure variable. So I'm creating that struct student, and I am trying to print the value of student ID and student name. Right. So what should be printed? What will be printed, guys? Student ID is 1 2 3 4. Student name is ABCD. So will that be printed? No, it will be an error because you cannot allow what is you cannot assign values directly to the members. You have to assign values to the structure variables. Remember that. What am I doing here? I'm directly assigning. This means what? Okay, no matter how many variables I declare, all the variables will have the same value, no? So that is of no use for me. That's why it's an error. People are still saying A. You guys understood why it's not A? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ? Guys, if you're not able to understand, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ chat. I'll explain it in English. If not, I'll explain it in Kannada. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಸೊ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಇಶ್ಯೂ. So Manjushri says no. Is it like she did not understand or something else? Structure variables will have unique values. Okay, structure variables ಗೆ unique values ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿ what am I doing? Structure members ಇದು student ID ಮತ್ತೆ student name is, yes, we cannot directly assign values to the structure members. ಆಯ್ತಾ? I cannot directly assign values to structure members. So that is the problem. If I had assigned it here in the main function for this S1, if I had assigned, okay, S1 dot student ID is equal to 1 2 3 4, S1 dot student ID is equal to student name is equal to ABCDE, then it would have worked. But ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ಲೇ ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಲೌಡ್ ಇನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್. ಆಯಿತಾ? ಸೊ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ದಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಕಾಮನ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ಸ್. ಇಫ್ ಐ ರೈಟ್, ಈಗ S1 ಇದೆ, S2 S3 S4 ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಸೇಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ that's the reason this is wrong. So that's why I'm getting a error. We can assign values in structures, but this is not the way. I would have shown you the way, no? Wait, I'll show you the way. See, illi I'm assigning values here. I'm not, union and structure is same, so don't tell sir this is union. Okay, so A ge data 1, that is my structure variable, dot A equal to 10. So B is adding 220. Data 1 is what? My structure variable. So if I have a different structure variable, the value will not be same, correct? Similarly here, I cannot assign values in data in union also. Okay? For member functions or member variables, you cannot assign value directly. Okay, anyways, most of you have seen the answers, so I'll just tell you. So what is happening here? Int employee ID, float employee basic. EMP1 is my structure variable, is equal to 13. Okay, now struct employee %d comma %f employee ID and employee basic. So I have assigned only employee ID, that is 13. Employee basic I have not assigned, so automatically it will take it as a default value. So default value for float is 0 point followed by 6 zeros, because float can have up to 6 decimal salva, so that's why 0.6 decimal zeros. Okay, any doubts guys? Most of you might think it is garbage value. It will not be garbage value by default, since it is structure. If it was simply some float variable, then it would have been a garbage value, but since it is a structure variable, you will get a proper zero value. So even with followed by 6 zeros. So that is how structure works. See the next question. Why I don't know why all my answers are being displayed. That's okay. So I'm writing a structure inside a main function now. Okay, int a my struct b. So my struct star p. So basically I'm writing a pointer to the same structure, right? So error in pointer declaration, yes, I cannot write a pointer inside the structure. Okay. Similarly, error in variable b declaration, yeah. So I cannot declare anything inside, right? So my struct is, yeah, I know that it is a structure. I have to declare it outside the structure. In the last example, how the data one value is 220. Okay, I remember you're asking this question. This one, no? Okay, here what is happening? It's a union. So union limited memory is assigned. Okay, for this entire union, only 4 bytes is assigned. Why? The maximum possible is 4 bytes for one member. So only 4 bytes will be assigned. Now, when I'm writing that data 1 dot a is equal to 10, that means 10 will be stored. But if I am reassigning data 1 dot b is equal to 20, that means whatever value the memory location was reserved for data 1, now it has been data 1 dot a, now it has been given to data 1 dot b. So it keeps updating the addresses of the memory, whatever memory we are being stored. Okay, so if I again assign something else, it will not be 220, it will be something else. Only one memory location at a time. Understood? You saw this, I guess. Yes. This you wouldn't have seen, but okay, let's see. So struct student. So student ID, student name, S1 is equal to 1 2 3 4 ABCD. Now struct student S2 5 6 7 8 ABCD. So both the students have same names. Okay. If S1 is equal to S2, then print true. What is S1 and S2? S1 and S2 is nothing but structure variables, and structure variables cannot be compared as they are comparing. Individual members of the structure variables has to be compared. Okay, so direct comparison what I'm doing here. If S1 is equal to S2, that's not the way I compare the structures. So if it has to be, if S1 dot student ID equal to S2 dot student ID, and S1 dot student name equal to S2 dot student name. If both are true, then print true. In that case it will be correct, else it is wrong. Right? Guys, this session will go till 3:30, no? Okay, I'll just finish some more questions. 2 or 3 questions are there. Once we are done with this, then I'll display the questions, so you can copy the question and then you can post the attendance. Okay, so I don't know why all my answers are being displayed. Anyways, so here what am I doing? A union is created, okay, and a union variable u1 is created. Okay, m1 I'm assigning 10, ch I'm storing 20. Now if it is printing u1 dot m1, so 20 will be printed both the times. Super. So you understood how union works, everyone? what is the output of this program? So it's a structure with the name, date, month and year. Okay, I'm creating a union where I am adding int student ID, char student name, and then what is the third one? What will be the output here, guys? You can write the structures inside the main, outside the main, does not matter. For example, if you see here, I've written the structure outside the main, but I've written the union inside the main, so it does not matter. Okay, as long as you're closing it with a semicolon, it does not matter. Okay, but whatever structure variables I'm declaring, either I have to declare it right when I finish the structure or inside a main function. Okay, now in this question, what is happening? Union I'm declaring, one is an integer variable, one is a character variable, one is struct variable, right? So integer variable, it is 4 bytes, let's say. Character variable, it's 2 bytes. What about struct variable? What is the memory allocated to the struct variable? So date of birth, int is 4, so let's say 444 it is 12, or 222 it is 6. Okay, there's no 12, there's 6, so answer is 6. Understood? It is not 10, King or Varshita. How did you get it as 10? Why 10, by the way? It should be 12 or 6. If it was int 4 bytes, then it is 12. In 2 bytes, it is 6. Manjushri also is saying 10. Why, guys? Didn't you understand? Union, maximum memory it will take. Maximum memory, this is a union. The student is a union. See this. Go through the question properly. Yeah, I know what you're doing. You're taking this as 6 plus 2, 8 plus 2, 10. Okay, so whatever member function has a maximum member, so that you have to take. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Yes, I'll quickly discuss this question. Let me see how many questions we have. Last question this is. Okay, so write the output. Struct my struct. I'm creating a structure variable x and y. So struct my struct. I'm creating a structure variable called s1 and a pointer variable called star pp. Now in main function, the structure variable address I am copying to pp. Now in printf, what am I doing? Star pp dot x star pp dot y. So x dot y, both the values will be printed. So by default their values will be 0. So 0 is printed. Similarly, in the next printf statement, pp, okay, this operator is same as value at x, okay, value at pp. So value at x and p value at y. So it'll again print 0 0. So just make a note of this particular operator. Sometimes they use this operator instead of using star with this particular thing. Right? Any doubts here, guys? No? So we'll stop it here. We have finished structures and union. We have finished arrays. Too much for a day is not required. Okay, we'll continue with user defined functions tomorrow. Sorry, user defined data types tomorrow. We'll see some code. I'll give you a question. So this is your question. Go through this question. Okay, so try this question. Okay, so we have another 15 minutes. Okay, you can also post your attendance meanwhile, but if you start posting your attendance, I'll have a trouble going through the answer. Yes, call by reference, and one more thing I skipped saying that I'll do it with this thing. So we'll discuss both of them tomorrow. Call by reference, and one more thing we had skipped because of pointers. Pointers with arrays, I guess. What is the other thing that we missed? No, it is not pointers with arrays. Okay, one was call by reference. Something related to arrays it was. I'm not sure. Try this program, guys. The same diamond program, but it has to be empty inside. So how will you do this? Something similar to printing an empty square. Call by reference, call by pointer is same. Something else. Yes, I know I have asked you to post your attendance, but meanwhile you can also try this program out. Is anyone even trying to write the code, or I'm simply displaying the question? Yeah, I'll quickly explain the code. Okay. So what I'm doing is same like the previous question. One of them we had seen, where I was trying to print the border values. Here also I'm putting an if condition and printing the border values. So if you see the if condition there, so if k is equal to 1, that means the first border, or if k is equal to 2 into I minus 1. What is 2 into I minus 1? The last value. Okay, then it will print the star, else it will not print the star. It will print a space. So this is how I am printing the border values. Okay, you can make a note of this question, guys, because this is again kind of question that appears in placements frequently. So just make a note of this particular code, and if any doubts in the code, please let me know. So I'll just give you a question that you can work on tomorrow. Okay, try this pattern, see if you're able to come up with a solution for this pattern. We have already done something similar to this in previous pattern program, so just try if you're able to do this. Okay. Any doubts, you can post it on the chat box, guys. And did you understand everything that we discussed? We discussed a lot of things: arrays, pointers, structures, and unions. Okay, I don't think so. It is too much, but still, learning so many concepts in a single day is not ideal. But if you have not understood, please let me know. I'll discuss it again if you want. Okay. Looks like everybody has posted their attendance. So anybody who's not posted their attendance, please post it right away. I'll close the stream in another 2 minutes. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Have a good evening.